Wayne Carini is famous for fixing up old cars, and his TV show Chasing Classic Cars is very popular. He has a great name as one of the most reliable people who fix up cars. But things changed when Wayne got into some legal trouble and problems out of the blue, even though he was a well-known expert and a great restorer. What would happen if that trust was broken? Let us find out what really happened to Wayne and how his pursuit of old cars got him into so much trouble. He was born in Portland, Connecticut on October 13, 1951. As a child, he was always around cars because his father, Robert Bob Carini, ran a shop in Glastonbury, Connecticut that fixed and repaired old American cars. Wayne has a deep love for old cars because he grew up around them. His first ride in a 1960 Ferrari Rosso Chiaro 250 SWB was very important to him. He was only 9 years old. This started his lifelong love of Ferraris and old cars. Wayne learned a lot for his future job from working with his dad when he was young. He started working on famous and expensive cars like Duesenbergs, Lincolns, Packards, and the Ford Model AS when he was very young. This hands-on work helped him get better at what he did and taught him a lot about how to carefully fix and take care of these old cars. Wayne learned a lot from his father, which made him care about and defend the history of these cars. Wayne was determined to carry on the family custom of restoring cars to high standards, which later became the core of his own work and success. While Wayne was at Central Connecticut State University, he first considered becoming a teacher, but his love of cars led him back to the family business. Taking over his father's shop in 1973, he made it a place known for fixing up old cars. Wayne learned how to fix up Ferraris from François Siccar, who is known as one of the best Ferrari experts on the East Coast and used to work on Ferrari racing cars. He also learned from Luigi Cinetti Jr., a close friend whose father, Luigi Cinetti Sr., won the 1949 24 Hours of Lemons for Ferrari and opened the first Ferrari shop in the U.S. Over time, he grew the business to include work on high-end and rare cars. David Letterman and tennis star Ivan Lendl were among his famous customers. Because of his reputation for careful, high-quality work and being honest, Wayne has gone on to start 3 companies in Portland, Connecticut. He works for F40 Motorsports, Continental Auto, and Carini Carrozzeria, and owns all of them. He buys and sells old and classic cars through his racing business. It is a shop that only sells these kinds of cars. Through its collection of rare, historically important and valuable cars, the company gives car fans and collectors access to some of the most famous cars in history. The business does more than just sell cars. It also helps car collectors with things like evaluations, consignment, and expert advice. He does work on high-end and rare cars at his Continental Auto shop, though. It is a top auto repair and maintenance shop known for its skilled techs and cutting-edge diagnostic tools that are perfect for high-end luxury and exotic cars. The shop works on high-performance or luxury cars from names like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche, Bentley, Rolls-Royce, and more. With a focus on accuracy, quality, and personalized customer service, the repair shop serves people who want their most valuable cars to receive the best care and attention possible. The third business Wayne owns, Carini Carrozzeria, is also a repair shop where he spends most of his time. It is a well-known auto repair shop known for its superb craftsmanship and commitment to protecting the history of classic and vintage cars. Wayne spends most of his time in this main studio, where he oversees restoration projects and works closely with skilled craftsmen to bring rare and historically important cars back to their former glory. Carini Carrozzeria restores things to a concourse level by using both old and new methods with great accuracy. Collectors and fans know that the shop pays close attention to every detail, from finding original parts to making custom parts by hand. Historical truth and a strong desire for the best in automobiles. Wayne likes fixing up old cars, but he personally prefers original cars that haven't been fixed up. At car shows across the country, these rare cars are often in the special preservation class. They are also the main focus of Wayne's own collection. When it comes to his personal life, Wayne is not only a skilled worker, but also a devoted husband and a loving dad to his 2 girls. In his life, family is very important to him, and he's proud of how close they are. Wayne and his family live in a rustic log house that was built by hand in the quiet woods of Connecticut. Interestingly, he built the house himself many years ago, putting in a lot of hard work, skill, and care to make it a warm and friendly place where many family memories have been made. Wayne is very active in autism research and raising awareness. In addition to his family life, he really cares about this cause and wants to help. He spends a lot of time working to plan and run car shows and other events that raise money for good causes. He does this by using his love of cars to bring people together for a greater cause. These events are very important because they raise money for services and programs that help kids and people with autism. Wayne is still fighting for autism rights because of his younger daughter, who was diagnosed with it when she was very young. His journey has been greatly affected by hers, which has made him want to make a difference not only for her but also for other people in similar situations. His actions show the love, strength, and drive of a father who wants to make the lives of people with autism better and help the community as a whole through kindness and action. Wayne is very busy in many car clubs across the region and is very involved in the community of people who love cars. He usually takes part in car shows, exhibitions, and get-togethers, not only to share his love of classic and collector cars, but also to get younger people interested in the sport. Wayne really thinks that without young people getting involved, the rich practice of collecting cars might die out over time. He spends time teaching young people about the history, craftsmanship, and cultural worth of collector cars as a way to stop this from happening. Wayne has been helping families with kids who have special needs lately, in addition to his work with young hockey fans. Putting antique cars in a special needs trust can make them very valuable, and he's been trying to get more people to know about this. By doing this, he wants to show families that the cars they love can be enjoyed now and will also help their families in the long run and provide financial security in the future. Wayne wants to combine his love of cars with thoughtful planning that helps and strengthens families who are facing unique problems. Wayne started becoming well known on TV before he started his famous show Chasing Classic Cars. He was in 2 one-hour specials that played on Discovery's HD Theater channel. The first was Monterey Week, which showed off the excitement and status of the world-famous Monterey Car Week. It featured events like the Pebble Beach Concours de Gance and auctions for expensive antique cars. In the second show, The World's Most Expensive Cars, viewers were taken inside the world of ultra-rare and extremely valuable cars. They learned what makes some cars so desirable and why they sell for such high prices. These early visits helped Wayne get known to more people and set the stage for his long-running and well-reviewed show about finding old cars, fixing them up, and telling stories about them. Things seemed to be going well for Wayne for a long time. Things were stable. He was doing well at work, taking care of his family, and staying out of the public eye. He worked hard, dodged trouble, and didn't take any risks or get distracted by other things that weren't important. He seemed to be going in a steady, good direction. But just when things looked like they were under control, something out of the blue happened and shook things up. He didn't get caught off guard by trouble. It came at him directly and loudly, causing him to deal with problems he hadn't seen coming. Wayne got into trouble with the law when he made what seemed to be a simple deal for a rare 1934 Pierce Arrow car. That being said, the story began years before Wayne got involved. In 2000, the rare car was bought by an Australian who collects old cars for $98,000. It was agreed that the seller, a man called Gary, would deliver the car. Instead, he registered the car in his own name without permission, leaving out Richmond, who was the real buyer. The car was kept hidden from view for years, and Richmond was left without the car he had paid for. Now we're in 2017. Gary had to sell the car because he was having trouble with money. Wayne, who is well known and recognized in the world of classic cars and runs several businesses, was asked to evaluate the car. Wayne put a value on the car between $11,000 and $12,000, but he didn't know about its complicated past. He chose to buy it himself when it was put up for sale. Wayne didn't know that Gary's ownership papers were fake, which was a shame. Gary had lied about getting papers that made it look like he was the real owner. Wayne thought the sale was real because he was acting in good faith. In 2018, things got worse when Richmond, the original buyer, tracked down the car and found that it had been sold more than once. He was angry and determined to get back what he thought was truly his. Richmond put in a case. Wayne, his business, motorsports, and a few other people were named as suspects. Years of shady deals with the Pierce Arrow coupe were exposed by the court case. Later court papers showed that Wayne hadn't meant to do anything bad and had honestly thought the documents were real. Still, the court told him he had to help settle the case by returning some of the contested payment. This showed how easy it is to take advantage of trust in the world of selling rare cars. People with a lot of experience, like Wayne Carini, can get into legal and financial trouble because of fake papers and transactions that don't get noticed. Wayne wasn't found guilty in the end, but the case hurt his image and made people doubt his business, F40 Motorsports. In addition to Wayne's personal participation, the scandal showed how weak the market for vintage cars is. Not having standard processes for checking, having documents that can't be trusted, and having a complicated history of ownership can all be big problems. Both collectors and sellers were reminded of how important it is to do their research before making such a big purchase. In the end, the Pierce Arrow case taught everyone a lesson about how easily trust and paperwork can be abused in the world of classic cars, with long-lasting effects on everyone involved. In a later chat with the Hartford Courant, Wayne talked about how important records are in the classic car business. Anyone who works in this business needs to believe the papers. You can't always know the full history of a car, but you rely on the papers as proof, he said. These words tell the hard truth. When paperwork is missing or not clear, even seasoned workers can get into legal trouble without meaning to. One of these situations featured a Pierce Arrow car, which was the subject of a public ownership dispute.
The media's focus on the case made people doubt Wayne's honesty, even though the court eventually found him not directly responsible for what he did. Still, the attention from the public was especially bad in a job where reputation is very important. Finding the right balance between love and responsibility in the market for restoring cars was brought to light by the case. It was a stark warning that records that are missing or faked can hurt careers built on trust as well as put people in legal trouble. Even though Wayne has been trusting people for decades, this taught him the hard way how fragile trust can be. The Pierce Arrow fight was more than just a problem with the law. It showed the weak structure that holds the world of rare cars together, one that relies on more than just skill and knowledge, detailed records. Wayne was in a lot of legal trouble and got a lot of attention from the media because of the Pierce Arrow case, but that wasn't the only problem that had to do with his business. There was yet another argument. This time it was a high-end deal through his business, F40 Motorsports. The event made people very suspicious about the business's communication and customer service standards. The problem was selling a 2007 Lamborghini Gallardo that was promoted with a rare and highly sought-after set of luxury luggage worth about $8,800. The buyer was really excited about the luggage and was ready to make the deal official once they knew it would be included. The buyer found that the exclusive luggage set and the car's extra key were missing when the car was delivered though. Following this, the buyer and F40 Motorsports had a long string of conversations. On Lamborghini Talk, an online forum for car owners where the buyer wrote about their experience, replies from the company were inconsistent and took too long. It was said that promises to fix the problem were not kept for weeks, which made the buyer even more angry. In the end, the client went to court because they were tired of what they called poor customer service. The disagreement was finally solved without going to court. The buyer got the lost luggage package and spare key through FedEx, but the resolution process was long and hard, which made a bad impression. Wayne is said to have stepped in to help settle the dispute, but the damage to the client relationship and the image of motorsports had already been done. This case didn't get as much press as the Pierce Arrow lawsuit, but it still made people think twice about how Wayne ran his business. In the luxury and collector car market, where customers expect perfection and responsibility, it was a lesson in how important it is to communicate clearly, be truthful in advertising, and be responsive to customer service. More generally, the event shows how high-end dealers can damage their image. A market where 6- and 7-figure deals are often made on a handshake and a promise needs trust and openness more than ever. Even a small mistake, like forgetting an accessory, can quickly become a law and public relations nightmare if it's not dealt with quickly and professionally. This case shows how deals that look simple at first can quickly turn into big problems for your image. This is especially true in the high-stakes world of selling luxury and collector cars. Lawsuits and disagreements that Wayne got involved in had effects that went far beyond the financial stress they put on his business. It cost a lot of money and hurt operations, partnerships, and future possibilities. But the damage was deeper and hit at something even more important, his reputation. Wayne had made a name for himself over many years by being trustworthy, honest, and professional in the classic car world and beyond. His reputation wasn't just something good about him, it was also the basis of much of his work and success. As word got out about the legal problems, it looked like the public and business respect he had worked so hard to earn would be lost. The stakes were very high because reputation is often just as important as skill in this area. The fallout from the disputes could undo years of hard-earned credibility. If someone is famous and well-liked in the collector car community and then gets sued more than once, even if no wrongdoing is proven, collectors, clients, and fans may start to question and mistrust them. Even though Wayne did what he did in good faith, the controversy over the title verification process made collectors and fans talk a lot and feel worried. This mistrust is enough to hurt business, since buyers tend to choose sellers who they know to be honest. The fight brought to light problems in Wayne's business, especially in the way it handles customer service. Some happy customers started to complain about the company in online groups and review sites, saying that there were problems with communication and that the staff sometimes made small mistakes. One former client who wrote anonymously on a well-known collector car website said that Motorsports was reliable but overworked. Even though they were making small mistakes, they showed that the company was having trouble keeping up with the demands of working at the top of the automobile world. It's important to note that this criticism wasn't directed at Wayne's character. Instead, it was a mirror of the growing pains a company goes through when it tries to expand in a very competitive market. Even though the cases aren't getting as much attention from the media as some other issues, trust is very fragile in a niche market like the classic car business, where reputation is everything. Wayne had to deal with controversies and legal disputes directly, and also make sure that stronger protections were in place to stop similar problems from happening again in order to keep his reputation. Because of his problems, Wayne had to look at how his companies did business and make changes. During this time, it was very clear that any mistake could quickly hurt trust, which is very important to the luxury car market. Wayne and Motorsports were able to settle their disagreements in the end, but some clients' continued doubts showed how important trust is to an entire business. Wayne's problems and lawsuits woke him up and many other people in the classic car world up as well. In this world where ownership records often span decades and involve multiple owners, legal problems are common. However, Wayne's cases got a lot of attention, which showed flaws that even well-known trusted names can have. An expert in automotive law said that disagreements like these make it even more important to do detailed title searches, keep communication open between buyers and sellers, and make sure that all paperwork is complete during all vehicle transactions. The problems Wayne has been having lately are a great example of this truth. He had a lot of experience and was very professional, but he ran into problems that showed how even experts can miss possible red flags when they only look at the paperwork. Wayne's rise from a passionate car fanatic in his dad's yard to a well-known figure in the world of collector cars shows how hard he works and how much he loves the history of cars. Over the years he became known as a master renovator and a reliable name in a niche market where being real and having good relationships are very important. But as his story shows, even the most respected pros can be hurt by the flaws in a field that depends on trust and complicated paperwork. Wayne's legal problems and issues, especially the Pierce Arrow lawsuit and the Lamborghini luggage case, were stark reminders of how one mistake or even an unintentional link to wrongdoing can have big consequences. Wayne doesn't seem willing to let these problems define him, instead he seems determined to let them make him better. He dealt with these problems by raising the standards for documentation, proactively addressing customer concerns, and being open about the lessons learned. These actions show that he knows how important reputation is and the responsibility that comes with being a leader in a high-stakes business. The moral of Wayne's story is not just to teach a lesson, also it's a story about being strong and changing. Right now he's trying to keep his reputation alive,